finally lifting a wheel anyway. Those are already recording. I've been getting some questions on TikTok and Instagram about what I've done with the brake upgrade on our 80 series. So this is a early model 80 series, so it is a 1990 model. So these came out with quite small brake rotors and calipers. So one thing that you can do is, as they upgraded the brakes in the later models, from 1992 onwards, these things had bigger brake rotors and calipers. It's all plug and play. So basically what we've done is we've upgraded to a later model rotor, caliper and brake pads. The next step further you can do on these is change the brake pads for a 105 series model. We haven't done that. I just thought I'd try the standard 80 series pads. I believe the pads carried over the same. So the 1990 models, the early ones and the later ones, all had the same pads. It's just the diameter of the rotor and the width of the rotor changes. So obviously, because the rotor's bigger and wider, it's going to cool better. And obviously the braking performance is going to be better because there's more leverage on the braking surface. I'll show a bit of a comparison in a minute between the two, but not only are the rotors bigger in diameter, they're wider, which means that the actual caliper needs to be wider as well. So these are a hell of a lot bigger than the old units. So just for comparison, the stock size rotor, which this is an old stock one, it's 286 millimeters in diameter with a 25 mil width, whereas the new models, the later ones, are 311 mil diameter and 32 mil wide. So they are quite a lot beefier. But as I said, it's all bolt-in. So basically all you'll need to do is buy new rotors, new calipers, obviously brand new pads because you don't want to be using your old brake pads. I have seen a lot of things on the internet saying that you need to change the backing plate, which we didn't do because they were probably more expensive than what we needed. So I went the DIY route. So you will need to trim these. They are quite a lot smaller than the later backing plates, but with a bit of trimming with some tin snips, they will be just fine. I've left probably about a 3 mil clearance between the backing plate and the rotor. So obviously there's no rubbing, and that's going to keep rocks from falling in between your moving rotor and your hub. Apparently, I actually just looked it up a couple of minutes ago, the rears got bigger as well, so you can upgrade the rear brakes, which I haven't looked into yet, so maybe we can look at doing that in a later episode. All I've done with the rears is upgraded well, not upgraded, I've rebuilt the calipers and bled everything, and they seem just fine. The biggest performance gain you're going to get is in the front because your brakes are quite front biased. But yeah, we did that while we were doing I actually rebuilt these bearings. So this all has to come apart. So you have the hub out to change the rotor. So we did the whole thing as one. I then later went through and put freewheeling hubs as part of the part-time kit that we've put in the car. But yeah, it's all pretty straightforward. You just need to pull your hub apart and redo your bearings. So that's a pretty important sort of thing. Beck was sort of mentioning how do they actually go on the road. I actually don't know. The old brakes, I never test drove the car, so I don't know how the old brakes went. And the new brakes, I actually haven't even bedded them in properly yet. So we haven't been able to drive this thing on the road for more than 5 or 6 Ks down to the next town, which seems quite funny to me because when you go to the roadworthy, they pick you up on your brakes aren't bedded in, but how are you going to bed the brakes in legally if you're not allowed to drive on the road? This is the original caliper. This is actually what looks to be a genuine Toyota one, whereas the new ones aren't. I actually didn't want to pay the silly price for genuine Toyota ones. So these are Disc Brakes Australia models. They seem pretty good, but half the price of the Toyota stuff. So I thought it was going to be a good sort of thing anyway. You will note we've already upgraded to braided brake lines all round. There's extended lines in there and whatnot, but we'll cover that another time. But yeah, anyway, so these are the brake calipers sort of up against each other. You can see there's probably not a whole lot of difference this way, but they are quite a lot wider. It's probably about, say, 50 mil wider. Probably not the easiest way to see, but oh yeah. The other comparison I want to do is look at the difference in width.
At the top again?
Yeah, like that compared to that.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
Thicker, wider.
And you can see like they are considerably smaller.
Yeah.
So I will put up a bit of a parts list on what you need to do this conversion on the screen, probably on this side, I'd say. Do the pointing. There you go, that's it. That's how you upgrade your brakes to the later big brake style on your 80 series. I did promise that we would be doing injectors this week, well actually last week now, but I'm still waiting on parts. There are injector tips coming, so hopefully they come this week or next week, and as soon as they do come, I'll be able to finish the episode. I am halfway through filming it, so we're just waiting on parts for them to arrive. And once they're here, I'll be able to finish it and release it. Thanks for watching. I guess I'm not really going to put much of this in there anyway. Pretty boring watching me put wheel nuts on. How many ugga duggas should I do?